Hello there guys and welcome back to Blues Fans TV for my live review of Leicester City 2, Chelsea 2. Firstly, my apologies for this stream taking ages to actually start now. There was something going on with the streaming encoder that usually doesn't happen, there was some problem happening. So please let me know in the chat whether everything is working fine, whether the image is fine, whether the sound is fine. Let me know all of that in the chat, please. That would be massively appreciated. But yeah, what to say about that game? It's kind of the same old, because we had chances first half, we really did, to kind of put that game to bed already. We didn't, then out of nowhere we score in the second half, then we out of nowhere go behind, then we out of nowhere manage to get it back to 2-0, and then Leicester miss-hit us to not win. So, kind of, I'm at the same time disappointed, but also glad, because we got lucky. So, I guess in the end, it's kind of, I'm happy, I'm okay. It's a decent draw. It's a fair result. I think that's kind of the overall thing, the way to look at it. Thank you for everyone saying in the chat everything is working. Thank you. Thanks a lot, basically. But yeah, as you can see on screen, of course, this video is again sponsored. This live stream is again sponsored by OneFootball. So please go down into the first line of the description and download the OneFootball app via that link. That would be massively appreciated, as it is, the best football app out there. You won't want to miss out. So please go down below and download it. That would be massively appreciated. And of course, subscribe to Blues Fans TV if you haven't already. But yeah, let's just talk about the game and starting it off with the lineup, because the lineup was a bit crazy. The lineup was a bit crazy. Lampard went on a bit of a madness today. Now, first of all, he dropped KEPA, which I didn't see happening, but he dropped KEPA for Willy Caballero. We'll talk about how that went, but that's what happened. All right, so Caballero in goal. A back four of Reece James on the right, Azpilicueta the left back, expected. Even the two centre backs, not exactly what I hoped for, but still what was to be expected, with Christensen as the right centre back and Antonio Rudiger as the left centre back. And while that's not what I wanted to go with, Rudiger scored 2 goals today, so I'm not complaining in the slightest. Then it wasn't a 4-3-3 like I expected and wanted. It was a 4-2-3-1 with Jorginho and Kante at the base. Even though it was kind of a 4-3-3 at times as well, it's a bit of a mix. Mount was, for the most part, he was a proper 10, but sometimes he also dropped into left CM, with Kante being a right CM and Jorginho being between them. But I think if you're going to have a debate, it's more of a 4-2-3-1. So Jorginho and Kante and Mason Mount just ahead of them, I guess. On the right, it was Hudson-Odoi as expected. Tammy Abraham started up front, playing through a bit of pain, and you could see that. Not sure whether it was the best decision to actually start him, but it worked out in the end, I guess, with a decent result. And then a left wing, it was Pedro. Pedro! I was honestly baffled. First of all, where's Kovacic? What does Kovacic do wrong in training to not start? Like, he must be the worst trainer. He must be a worse trainer than Hazard. Do you know what I mean? Like, how does he not start? He's so good. How does he not start? It doesn't make any sense to me, honestly. It doesn't make any sense to me. I would still prefer Jorginho and Kovacic together, rather than having Jorginho and Kante and not play Kovacic. Like, if Lampard is so fixated on playing Mount, I'd rather play Kovacic than Kante. Even though today Kante was pretty decent for the most part, but again, I'll get into that. But Pedro just baffled me. What has Willian done not to start, unless he wasn't 100% fit or something? Maybe he picked up some sort of little cold or something that, meant he wouldn't be able to play more than, half an hour. Unless that is the case, I'm baffled. And Pedro wasn't like completely dog shit awful, but he wasn't great. Let me tell you that. He really wasn't great. I mean, our front three generally just wasn't great. But getting into the game, the first half was, well, good. Good. We played well. We created chances for ourselves. Tammy had an almost sitter when it was a cutback from Aspi on the left, and he just didn't get his feet right and didn't even shoot. A similar situation was for Hudson-Odoi. Okay, it wasn't a sitter for him as it was a shot from outside the box, but he tried to shoot with his weaker left foot, missed the ball completely. Then another situation, Hudson-Odoi managed to dribble into the box instead of shooting with his weaker left foot. He passes it to Mason Mount, who puts it over the bar, but he was offside anyway. Still don't. Well, I understand why why Hudson-Odoi didn't shoot, because he doesn't trust his left foot. Like, I don't trust his left foot, but that's a problem that needs to be worked on. Tammy was so close, and he should have done better on a cross by Reece James. He should have just got his foot on that. He just basically missed the ball. Should have been doing better. And then there was other kind of half moments where we could have just have been doing more. Like when the ball was played into Mount, and Mason Mount had a weird one today. For the most part, it was pretty bad. But then he had these moments where he was brilliant, brilliant dribbling. And then in 20 seconds later, he just messes it up completely. Not brilliant dribbling, pardon me. Brilliant pressing and just brilliant positioning. 20 seconds later, he messes it up again. It's a bit weird. So, I was a bit confused. Let me just have a bit of a tea. Just tea, guys, There's no need to go mental. And that was really the first half. you know, it just wasn't that much happening, quite frankly. I mean, Leicester had a couple of chances. Well, they had one major chance through Jamie Vardy when they played their way through quite nicely, and Caballero pulled off a great save. But also, you know, as much as we say, oh, Caballero made a great save, also Vardy should have done better. Vardy has to score that. So we got, you know, let off with that one, but we could have been 2 up by then at least. You know what I mean? Like, we easily could have been 2-0 up. And once we're 2-0 up, like, we find everything to be easier. So chances are we would have been 3-0 up, but we were not. And then we go into the second half, and out of nowhere, as, you know, still, let me just go to the minute, in the 46th minute, so still the first minute of the second half, as the camera by, you know, the Premier League was completely messing up, and we just had this massive wide angle and no replay until very late on, and I still only saw one replay of the first goal. Mason Mount plays the corner in, and Rudiger manages to win it and put it into the goal. I think the first one was like he headed it into the ground, kind of, and it went in next to Schmeichel. But again, I only saw from a really wide angle and a really quick replay at the end, so I'm not 100% sure. But anyways, Mason Mount with the assist, Rudiger with the header to put us 1-0 into the lead. I was like, yes, brilliant, great, everything's great. And then, not even 10 minutes later, 8 minutes later, what's his first name? Harvey Barnes makes it 1-0. And that's just a disappointing goal to concede. Just really, really, really disappointing goal to concede, in my opinion. I mean, it really started with Schmeichel. You know, I mean, there was a back pass to Schmeichel. Tammy could have almost gotten into it. Yes, Jorginho played not the greatest pass before that, I get it, but I still think Mount's run there made no sense, because I think Jorginho was just passing it to Mount, and Mount just wasn't there for some reason. Maybe he was trying it for Tammy, and he missed it up, fair enough. But the ball ended up with the Leicester goalkeeper, Schmeichel. Then they played it out, and then it got kind of a back pass, and then they started the attack from there, and it ended up with Harvey Barnes scoring. And I was like, all right, you know, basically just cut back. Reece James gave it a little bit of a deflection. Gave it a little bit of a deflection, and it just flew like kind of like a boomerang, or kind of like a half loop, like a bit of a hill. You know, it just flew up, and then it just came back down into the far side netting. Absolutely, you know, nothing to do there for Willy Caballero. It's just a disappointing and slightly unfortunate goal to concede, really. But of course, we could have done better with the whole build-up as well. And then, in the 64th minute, so another 10 minutes later, we go 2-1 down through Ben Chilwell. And honestly, what Willy Caballero did there, what he did there, that combination of the two things that I'm going to explain right now, was worse than anything Kepa did all season, in my opinion. Just the second part is already worse than 99% of things that Kepa did all season. So first of all, Aspie, fair enough, unnecessarily, plays a back pass to Caballero. But, you know, slightly underhit, but still enough time. You know, even though Vardy was pressing Caballero, enough time for him to receive the ball and play to Christensen, who was completely unmarked to his right. He doesn't need to control that. It wasn't the heaviest of back passes. Just pass it over to Christensen. There was no one around him, no opponent. Just pass it to him. Even if you're off by a yard or two to his left or right, he can still get it calm. What does Caballero do? Kicks out for a throw-in. What happens next? You know, Leicester, of course, have possession rather than us. They kind of switch the play onto the other side. Chilwell puts in a cross, a bad cross, you know, way over the goal. Caballero comes running out like a crazy person. He's out of his own six-yard box. Realises, shit, the ball is played back into the box. And then out of nowhere, you know, Reece James decided to forget about Ben Chilwell, and Ben Chilwell was just completely unmarked at the far post and just blasted it in from there. So, Willie, what are you doing? Reece James also still needs to work with these kind of things. There was a problem, for example, in Valencia. He messed that up a little bit already. Got a bit better recently, but still needs to work on that far post defending a little bit. But then that was us 2-1 down, and I was like already pretty annoyed. We made substitutions. Actually, we didn't make the substitutions yet. We equalised. I thought we made the substitution first. Antonio Rudiger, another, 7 minutes after we went 2-1 down, made it 2-0 from another corner, from another Mason Mount hit corner. This time a brilliant header. One of the best headers I've seen in a long time, because the corner wasn't hit right into the middle of the box. It was like, you know, just behind the penalty spot. And Rudiger had to lean. He had out-jump Chilwell. It's also taller, but still. Out-jump Chilwell. And with a strong header from quite a distance. Like, that must have been to where the ball actually hit the goal. You know, obviously, he was closer to goal if he had to put it near post. But to the far post, there must have been at least 15, 16 yards the ball travelled. And it was a brilliant header into the top corner, into the far side netting. Brilliant. Nothing Schmeichel can do about it. Absolutely brilliant. And after that, it was just a bit not that good. We made substitutions. Kovacic came on for Jorginho, which I understand because Jorginho was on a yellow, and obviously we don't want him suspended for the game after the break, which should be Manchester United, if I'm not mistaken. So that made sense. Even though Kovacic got suspended, got booked. Wait, how long? 2 minutes after he came on. So I guess it only worked for the United game, not for today. And also the other substitution was Willian coming on for Pedro. Not that Willian didn't do much, but we were just not in a good place after that. They also made a couple of substitutions. They brought Iheanacho on for Vardy, and Tielemans they took off for Pret, however you pronounce his name. And then lastly, we brought Ross Barkley on for Tammy Abraham and put Willian up front. I don't know what Lampard was thinking, but while all of that was happening, Leicester missed chances. Trust me, guys, they missed chances. I mean, Evans had a header from, I think it was a corner, might have been a free kick. A header that he scores usually every day. Usually he scores it every single time, blind eyes, blindfolded. Doesn't get away with that. And then, was that still Vardy? No, it was Barnes. Barnes threw on goal and literally is 1-on-1 with the keeper and just puts it, just places it next to the post. He just puts it wide. So we really, got lucky with that one. We didn't really have any major chances at the end anymore. It was also a bit strange when we didn't have a striker. We generally weren't that good. But yeah, first half was us. We were clearly the better team in the first half, even though they had that Vardy chance. And second half, clearly, Leicester were the better team, but all 4 goals were scored in the second half. So that's just the story of our season, really. We're the better team in the first half. Could have scored 2, if not 3 goals. Okay, Leicester could have scored 1, but still, other than that, I don't think they had a significant chance. And we don't take any of our chances. We go into the second half. We actually take the lead. Can't hold on to it for more than, what was it? For more than 8 minutes. Already 1-1. Another 10 minutes later, we're 2-1 down. Fair enough, we got it back 6 minutes later. So that was good and good spirit and good character. But still, we still need to work on these things. Now, our front 3 were all shocking. Hudson-Odoi had some good moments in the first half. I will say, Hudson-Odoi had some good moments in the first half. And while I appreciate that Tammy tried and probably played through quite a bit of pain, that wasn't the right decision to play him today. And it also wasn't the right decision to bring Willian on as, to have Willian as the striker in the end when you have Batshuayi on the bench. It also wasn't the right decision to start Pedro because he did absolutely nothing. He runs around, we're very deep in play, never got anywhere near scoring. There was one moment when Reece James put in a cross and he got a yard of the ball. But he's just not quick enough anymore. He's just not. And I really have to ask a bit of a question to Frank Lampard because is he turning into Conte now? Remember when Conte didn't get his January signings in his second season? And he just moaned every single press conference from then onwards. And he just had weird team selections and it almost felt like he wants to prove to the board that the team isn't good enough. And that team today said that to me. I'm like, what do you mean you're playing Pedro? What do you mean you're bringing on Barkley for Tammy Abraham when you have Batshuayi on the bench? It's too late now. If you wanted to do that in January and you wanted to show them, okay, I'm putting Willian at striker because I don't trust Batshuayi and Giroud, and make them sign you a striker like that, fair enough. And if you want to make them sign you a winger by playing Pedro and seeing how bad he is, fair enough. But don't do it on February 1st. It makes no sense. It makes no sense at all, does it? I don't see the logic. I don't see the logic at all. And yes, okay, overall we got a decent draw away at Leicester, and especially in the first half we were impressively good. We are a good football team. We're just too dumb to score. We are just incapable of scoring goals. Except Rudiger today, for some reason, and from set pieces. When Leicester, until today, only scored from one set piece, conceded from one set piece all season, equally the best stat with Liverpool. Only one set piece goal they conceded. We scored twice against them from set pieces today, which is a bit odd, considering we were shocking at it so far this season. But other than that, we just can't score. We don't get the right people in the right positions. We don't time our crosses. We don't play the crosses in the right moment, except Reece James. We don't take the right decisions in the final third. It's baffling. It's baffling. But we're still a good football team. And as silly as it sounds, it just needs one click and then it works. It needs one game, one moment that changes everything and then it works. It's not like we need to work on this forever. It's a bit of trust, it's a bit of confidence, it's a bit of just things going our way because very often they don't. I will also say we possibly could have had a penalty in the first half when Soyuncu put in a tackle against Tammy Abraham and they clashed knees. I thought initially maybe not quite enough for a penalty. I kind of agree with it not being a penalty. With the whole, obviously, VAR, a clear and obvious mistake. I wouldn't say it was a clear and obvious mistake, but I think you can also give it, if the ref had given it, I don't think VAR would have overturned this decision. And then in the second half, I think it was similar. In the 95th minute, actually, I was devastated, horrified already, because a cross by, some Leicester player anyway, hit Rudiger's hand. Even though he was kind of placed on his back and on his arse almost, he had his hand, literally the hand stuck out. and it hit that. The ref waved it off immediately, and VAR didn't intervene. I think if the ref gives it, VAR doesn't overturn it. So in a sense, it's all fair and equal. Both probably could have had a pen. Both possibly shouldn't have had a pen. Both possibly should have. Who knows? But both didn't get it. I think it's all fine in the end. But yeah, I really didn't understand what Lampard was doing there today. Of course, we now go into the mid-season winter break, which I'm actually excited about. We're going away with my girlfriend, which I'm looking forward to. So, that's going to be good. And there's still Premier League football on. Not the greatest of games next weekends, but, it's still pretty exciting. I'm still pretty happy with it, not going to lie. So, we have a weekend off now. I'm not sure how much content we're going to be able to bring you in these kind of 2 weeks now on this channel, but we will try something, I'm sure. But yeah, I guess it's that break now, and the toughest period of the season is coming up. Man United, Spurs, Bayern Munich, then something else, and then Man City, and then Bayern Munich again. Or is it Bayern Munich away and then Man City? Tough games. But today was one of the first tough games. Leicester are ahead of us in the league, and for the first half, we were a better team. We took the lead. Then we bottled it. Let's disregard that. We are still a good football team. We just need to work on a few things, and we just, need Ruben Loftus-Cheek back. And we could have done with some signings, mate. Dear board, we could have done with some signings. Could have done with a striker here. Could have done with a winger. Because we played Pedro today. And, well, I don't want a midfielder, but I just want Ruben back. Because Mount is kind of pissing me off. But yeah, other than that, I don't really have that much more to say. I've already been going for 16 minutes. So I'm going to, reply to a couple of things that you guys put into the chat. And I'm going to react to that. AEW is awesome. Fair enough. Says Christensen is too weak and stupid. I don't agree. I think Christensen was decent enough today. The only thing that he bottled was when the guy put a shot wide. I think Barnes, his run there made no sense. But I think he was generally pretty decent today. I can't really fault him much. Can't really fault him for any of the goals, in my opinion. And he was decent in recent games as well. You're saying, Blake, I'm not sure about the pace thing about Christensen because Zuma, Rudiger and Tomori are all significantly faster than Christensen. Tammy is not good enough for Chelsea, sad to say. That's absolute bollocks. First of all, he's 21, 22 years of age. Secondly, he played with a lot of pain today, playing through the pain. Thirdly, there's still no... He is so difficult for him as a striker at times because he doesn't know where his other players are going to be because we're not structured and organised in our attacking. He doesn't know. Is my far post winger going to go far post? Is my near post winger, if Reece James puts in a cross, going to go near post? Is my near post winger going to go to the byline or is he going to drop deep for the cutback? Is my midfielder behind me going to stay at the edge of the box or going to come into the box? So do I drop or do I go deep? He doesn't know. So it's so difficult for him to do because everyone else around him is kind of being a bit shit. Because Tammy has scored 15 goals already. I think that's more than Diego ever had at this point. I think. Maybe he had around the same. And you know how much we love Diego Costa. Do you know what I mean? People really need to chill. We also played against a good team today with 2 very good defenders, with 4 very good defenders, even though Chilwell, by the way, the hype around Chilwell, I'm not that fussed about Chilwell. I know he scored, but Reece James and Hudson-Odoi in the first half tore him to absolute pieces. He was nowhere to be seen. Absolutely nowhere. But Ricardo Pereira also only had Pedro and Aspi to deal with. So let me not make that argument because that's silly. But yeah, I don't necessarily agree that Tammy's not good enough. He's a young striker in his first top-level Premier League season. He was at Swansea, but top-level Premier League season. Can't be good all the time. Do you know what I mean? Chill. Loftus is a star, but let's be honest, he ain't going to help us. Loftus ain't going to help us that much. Oh, you're funny. That's like saying Messi won't help Barcelona much. And I know I'm exaggerating. But, I do think Loftus-Cheek, when he comes back, will have a huge significance once he's fully fit. Obviously not in a still recovery period. Hudson-Odoi has mad potential. Agreed. Pardon me. Werner is needed. I'm not sure Werner is the best suited striker for the Premier now. Werner is just quick. Pardon me. He has decent dribbling, but he's mainly quick. And in the Premier, you can't really use your pace that much, especially when you're a team like Chelsea, because 9 times out of 10, your opponent is going to sit deep. Only Liverpool, City, Leicester, Arsenal, when they're not down to 10 men, they're kind of the only teams that are not going to sit deep against us. Maybe Norwich, and that's why they're, where they are. Everyone else is going to sit deep and try to defend deep. And then a fast striker does do fuck all for you. Absolutely nothing. Do you know what I mean? Hence why I'm not 100% sure about Werner. Mason Mount has to improve big time. I agree. Mason Mount needs Ruben to be back so he doesn't have so much pressure on him. Hudson-Odoi has featured in 35 out of our 36 games so far this season. That's too much pressure on a 21-year-old. Too much. Lampard in Caballero in, KEPA out. Oh no, I do want to mention the second goal, right? Like I said, again, just quickly going back to it. Caballero's mistakes, plural, for that second goal are worse than anything KEPA has done all season. And I know it's only one game. And, you know, let's also not ignore the fact that he didn't complete a single long ball. Or a single, you know, every time he had the ball at his feet, we lost the ball every single time, right? Let's not forget about that. It makes a big difference in how good we are in possession. I mean, I like Willie. And, mad sentence. I like Caballero. But it's just not it, mate. Like, it's just not it. And yes, he made a good save against Vardy, but you can't be doing that for the second goal. You cannot be doing that. The thing is, though, I'm not sure whether KEPA wouldn't do the exact same thing. It wouldn't go out as far because he's scared of leaving his 6-yard box. But, you know, he would still see it fly over him. I'm not sure whether he would have been able to cover the near post in time. So, you know, what am I to say? Cho is very poor. Lampard don't know what he's doing. Very poor. You need to go. Enough is enough. Barkley very poor. The truth is, need to be told. Tammy's very poor. Not good enough. Christensen was awful. I mean, you must live a fun life, Manson. You must really live a fun life. We got a draw against Leicester, who are above us in the league. Don't be so disappointed. Like, you know, chill. I know we have expectations, but yeah, I hope it's top 4. Before the season, I thought we'd finish somewhere between 6th and 8th. We're 4th, and we just drew against Leicester. I'm not all too upset. You know, I'm gonna go with that. I think it's all right. But guys, I think I'm gonna leave it here. Kante's the only world-class player at the moment. I don't agree in the slightest. Don't agree in the slightest. If he played his natural position, which we don't use because it makes our team as a whole worse, yes. But where he does play, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But yeah, I'm going to leave it here. I mean, for the most part, just quickly, Reece James was really good. Rudiger scored 2 goals, so great. But other than that, can't really say that much. Had a couple of decent blocks. Christensen, decent. Aspie, nothing to fault him for, but nothing to praise him for, I guess. Jorginho, good at times. Not so good at other times, but good for the most part. Kante, brilliant at some points, and was kind of more back to his old self. Pardon me. But other times he was just poor. And I was like, what are you doing? So I didn't really understand. Mount, explained that already. Pedro, nothing. Hudson-Odoi, good first half, nothing after that. Tammy, injured, tried, didn't come off for him. So that was it, because I kind of forgot to talk through the team. But yeah, guys, I'm going to leave it here. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you to all of you that have tuned in. I really, really do appreciate it. Like I said in the beginning, and as you can see on screen, of course, this video is again sponsored by OneFootball, as our channel is sponsored by OneFootball. So if you could download their app via the link that is in the first line of our description, I would massively appreciate it. It is the best football app out there, so please go and download it. That would just be absolutely class, because it helps us out a lot. It just, you know, helps us to like go to all of the games, especially the guys that are in Leicester today. So, you know, and also myself when I do travel. So it helps us out for all of these things. So please download the app. That would be great. Subscribe to Blues Fans TV if you haven't already. Drop a like on this live stream if you enjoyed it. Drop a like on this video if you're watching it at a later point. And also don't forget to hit the notification bell button and choose to be notified of all uploads so you don't miss any of your future videos. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Up to Chelsea. Have a, you know, happy winter break, I guess. And I'll see you. Wait, need to change the thingy. And I'll see you when I see you.